Good morning. Waliogsakluk and Abjalasi. Welcome to the Straight from the Source Water First virtual event. We're so happy to have you here today. It was really important to me to be able to connect with Water First. I reached out to them and wanted to see how I could make a difference. Having family members that were affected by contaminated water and sadly have passed on to the next life, it's important to me that everyone has clean drinking water and is able to sustain their own healthy living environment. Dr. Carli Lang is a Water First scientific director and supports both our drinking water internship and environmental water program. At Water First, she applies her experience and passion for water and community engagement in her work with First Nations communities.
The goal of the environmental program is really to increase the capacity of community members to be stewards of their own aquatic resources, and importantly, to do this in their own communities and related to things that they're already interested in or are concerned about. So we bring environmental technical training, always in an applied project-based learning setting. So as I mentioned earlier, there are some communities where we continue working on more and more projects because things go so well. This is a picture from Naskapi. This is Jag Saini, one of our lead environmental project leads. And we've started working with Naskapi, I believe it's been about 5 years ago now. And over the course of this time, we worked on a fish habitat restoration project, a contaminant of concern study, and we are now starting a fish habitat monitoring project. Naskapi Nation is located near Schefferville, Quebec, so in the heart of mining activity. And with that, there are some concerns that individuals have about what is happening to these water bodies after projects go through. Here's a picture of our field crew, Jag and Ryan with Lawrence and Noah. And the main thing I want to highlight here are the smiles and the relationships that are formed doing these projects together. There's a very, very high level of trust, and our field staff do a really great job of connecting with the people who they are training and helping them learn, but also realize what they can do with this training. This is a picture of individuals from Sagi and Ojibwe Nation who already have their own coastal waters monitoring program. This is something they've been running for 3 years, and they reached out to us just to get a little more support on certain aspects of their technical knowledge and also data management. So we're working with individuals who have already a lot of experience in this case, or other individuals who are really just beginning to hone their environmental skills.
Next up, we have Atshapi Andrew, who has studied and focused on social and human resource development, specializing in new communities and related organizations through various strategies and roles in his career.
So we're about 2,000 people in Shehajit, and we have about 60 kids being born in a year. So there's a huge population growth of that age group that'll be coming up in the next 10 to 15 years. So there's a huge emphasis on to teach these young people water management and understanding the food that's in the water and understanding the importance of keeping it clean. Just by having Ryan deliver these workshops for 12 to 14 days or 10 to 14 days, however long they were. We just had the elders listen and participate throughout the classes. These are the two elders here, Abadet and Nabes. And it was really an awesome atmosphere for people to learn. It wasn't like a classroom setting. It was all around a single table or outside, and it was deformalized, the learning. I will put it that way. So our first trip out this summer, we had one of our youth that comes from a very tough family household, and you could see this noticeable healing that happened. So the bonus was the learning of the water and stuff like that, but the core of the whole project is to create environments of feeling safe and working together and kind of uplifting each other. So like with this one girl could, it was the first time in a long time she said she could project herself into the future where she was happy.
Next up, we have Kacie McLaren. Kacie McLaren is an Algonquin from the Kebewak First Nation. She has an environmental technician diploma from Canadore College. Kacie enjoyed working on the restoration project because she was able to implement the theory and tools that she learned in school while learning about walleye habitat and how to restore it and protect it.
Currently, the Algonquin Nation is around the Kacie River, which is known as the Ottawa River. That translates to Big River because it is a very, very large watershed. Also, it is very important to know that Algonquins have never gave up their rights or their territory. We still consider this our land, our territory, and it would be us that would like to manage it. We saw this opportunity to apply to this walleye spawning bed restoration project with Water First. The purpose of this was to be able to fix or restore areas of concern that have been damaged by infrastructure, mostly relating to fisheries and fisheries as a main concern, just because that is the main food source for us. That is something that we eat and live off of. We decided to take the route of reaching out to our people, our own community members and our elders, our land users, people who can see the changes on the territory happening and can tell us, like, oh, this is how it was before until they built the road with an improper culvert. So now it's very dry in the springtime. So we know, okay, so that's a very important area we should go investigate. We get it confirmed by biologists, get the permits in, we're all good to go. And then we actually do the work, which is physically demanding. It was amazing. We built a lot of relationships with our department and elders and even community members, even surrounding First Nations, capacity building too within not just our office, but we're able to provide these services to our community after, tell them how it's done, bring them out with us on other projects, webinars. And another amazing thing that I thought was that we're because of this project, we're able to implement so many other projects now because of this. Like I said, we have another fish restoration projects we've done. We've actually done a complete shoreline stabilization project. And that's because we had that little experience with, the erosion control we've done.
Now we will have time for our Q&A. This one I'm going to send to both Atshapi and Kacie. So you can choose who wants to answer first. What excites you the most about the programs you are supporting in your communities?
I can answer first. It's just it's just the fact that we're finally doing the work. We don't have to get outside people to come in. We're the ones getting the training and capacity. It's us that is in charge of the information also, so we get to decide what's shared and what's not. And that's also plays a role in, our lands and rights titles and making sure that, we keep those rights and that they're not abolished on us, just.
Mm-hmm. I think, data sharing is something that's very important at the end to end, needs to be taken very seriously. I think there, as you alluded to, there are many areas within that. We believe strongly that it is the community's decision how and when that data is shared and who it's shared with. But that being said, there is very much an interest in that information being available to their community, for sure. We've helped design different ways of doing that. It might be, as Kacie mentioned, going to the school and doing workshops with the school and being able to communicate with a young audience to say, this is happening here. This is exciting and important. And that's obviously very different than writing a report that might be shared with a tribal council or with a hydroelectric company. But ultimately, we help facilitate the relationships and the communication that is identified by the community.
This one comes in for Atshapi. You said the training was deformalized. Can you expand on how the lessons are deformalized and how the process helps to make the participants feel safe?
Yeah, this was me and Ryan and I on his first trip when we came in, and we kind of discussed how we wanted to set up the lessons. He would be delivering the information for the most part, and I would be kind of just in the building or outside, just monitoring the environment. So that deformalization was, we don't have set, well, we kind of indicated like set periods of start times and stuff, but it was more of the interaction. It wasn't like we had a question and period set, like this is very formal, like the way we're presenting. And so deformalization was anytime you could ask a question. If anyone was off track, we go on tangents. And so the deformalization was, first came out of the formal education system has not been very nice to any Aboriginal groups. And so we wanted to kick that off of as noticing that and addressing that immediately. And so we want to say, like, we are deformalizing that. We're not going to create a scenario that makes you feel like what you know is not relevant. So that was a very aware choice by us, that we wanted to be very flexible in our presentations. The structure is more of the process of the information. How do you take it in? So the structure is like, if you have heavy stuff, you take it very slowly. If you have stuff that is fun and stuff, so those are a lot more rhythm based, whether you're outside or create an environment that makes it feel safe to share this information. So that deformalization was it basically made it up, but it was addressing the fact that, acknowledging the fact that formal education doesn't value traditional knowledge.
Kacie, until today, I was not aware, well, this person was not aware of the importance of fish habitat in terms of water health. Is this an issue on many First Nations? And are changes in the fish habitat related to industry, climate change, or other factors?
Yeah, great question. Yes, I personally believe anyway, it is an issue for every First Nation. And it is a multitude of things. It's not just industry, it's climate change, it is, what do you call it? A cumulative impact of stuff. It's a range of things: mining, industry, forestry, invasive species as well. We're starting to notice more in our area. So that's very, very concerning and alarming. That changes the whole habitat and ecosystem of a lake. And that is very, very concerning, considering that we live off the land. Like, I still traditionally eat pickerel every summer, spring, winter, like that is what we eat. That's our food. And the fact that we're getting more they're native to the area, but not in our lakes. Like, we're getting more bass, which is concerning because they eat more fish, more bait fish and stuff, which the walleye eat. So there's a lot of things to factor in, but it is a concern that everyone should be worried about, because, and then for us too, that's what I learned also. Anytime there's a slight change in fish, small things, it could be as simple as bait fish to walleye to bass fish, that means there's a change in the water quality, and you got a problem there, because that changes everything. If that's where you get your drinking water from, it's detrimental for sure. So no, yes, everyone should be concerned about this and learn about it for sure.
I want to say olalio. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today. You taking the time to learn more about Water First and the people who are working with this organization and the support that they're doing within our Indigenous communities, and the autonomy that our communities are having is really, really important. I encourage you to also please visit waterfirst.ngo and follow all of our socials for updates and things, so you can better understand what we're doing in the community and how your support is making a difference. I'd like to invite you, if you would wish to continue to support these programs, to contact us and reach out. It would mean a lot to us. Wulalio, Namoltas, thank you, and we'll see you soon.